In this video, I'm going to show you how to become a digital nomad. What that means is somebody that earns online, probably with your own online business, so that you can travel. You can genuinely travel the entire year and do what you want whenever you want. For context, this used to be me. I used to be incredibly shy, anxious, depressed, had crazy cystic acne and a bunch of issues. This is me now. I'm a multimillionaire. I own 2 properties outright. I've done some what I think are cool shit, marathons, traveling the world, treating loved ones, that kind of thing. I spend a lot of time now helping people go through similar transformations that I went through, from this to this. So do you know the full context? I went to college, graduated, did what my parents wanted, applied to graduate jobs, got denied for all of them, and then started a business. See here, 2019, me getting denied, and here, 2019, getting a payment from a client. And so that business that I started basically went from zero, no revenue, to over 50K per month within about 18 months. Got my nice little shiny award for hitting 1 million with one funnel using ClickFunnels. But this is the real cool stuff. People have helped. All of these people have worked one-on-one with me. A lot of them now have quit jobs they hate and do this full time. So let's get into it. How do you become a digital nomad? I'm going to show you how. We're going to first cover, should you actually become a digital nomad, how to use minimalism to make this quite easy, how to actually stay focused while you're traveling so you can still work and still make money, how you go about booking flights, booking accommodation in the best way, how to make sure you can get into the countries you want to visit, how to expense your travel through your business, everything else that you need to know. All right, should you become a digital nomad? Well, look, from my opinion, it's amazing, it's liberating, it's also stressful and chaotic. You see, you've probably just seen the fancy side. You've seen the people that are just, taking photos with their laptop in the pool, laptop by the beach, and you think it's just cool and amazing and easy and stress-free. It's not the reality, right? If you're working from a desk from your home, you're probably going to get a little bit more work done than if you're working from a beach or a cafe, right? But at the same time, if you want to see the world, why not get paid while seeing the world? Why not go on a 2-week holiday, and why not just travel 52 weeks of the year? If any of that sounds appealing, then you should probably do it. But to give you more context, so here are the real pros. You go where you want, and you can save money living in cheaper countries. You get to see new cultures, meet new people, you get to see amazing places, let's be honest. You can capture amazing content. If you want to build a personal brand, one of the best things you can do is to document your travels. You can benefit from lower tax countries. Right? Just imagine that you are set up and you've got your tax residency set up in a country where taxes are low, and you're earning money from business owners around the world that are paying you in dollars, in euro, and currencies that are really strong. But then you're out living in Thailand for a month, then you're in Indonesia, Bali for another month. You're staying in these places where the cost of living is a lot lower. And so your money actually goes a lot further. So if you even make 3 to 5K a month, euro per month, then you're balling. And that's foreign income arbitrage. This is making money from the wealthy countries and spending it in less off poorer countries. The cons, well, if you're going to be a digital nomad and do this to the full degree of being in a lower tax jurisdiction for your kind of financial setup, then you can't spend more than basically 6 months in one country. If you do, you're most likely going to get flagged as a tax resident in that country, and then you lose a lot of these benefits. Visas do run out quickly for a lot of countries. So if you're traveling to Thailand, Indonesia, places like this in Southeast Asia, and you're from Europe, then you normally have to get your visa, but then you have to renew your visa, and it's a thing, right? It's something you're going to have to pay a lot of attention to and keep track of. You end up spending a lot of your time and energy planning, booking flights, booking accommodation, and then actually traveling, getting on buses, getting on planes, getting on trains, and that takes up a lot of time. And it's also not always cheaper. You see, flights are pricey. So if you're going to travel the world and you're going to go, let's say in Southeast Asia, for example, or, in Latin America, where yes, you're going to spend less money in those countries when you're there, but you've got to travel in and out of them every few weeks or every month, then you might actually end up spending the same money that you might spend if you were just staying in like a European country. There is an opportunity cost. Every time you move to a new area, you have to spend time getting set up in that new area, finding a gym, finding the grocery store that's close to you, understanding how the meal delivery works, the best restaurants to go to, the places to go to and the places that you shouldn't go to. It's stressful if you're a really picky eater or you follow a very strict diet. And it's really difficult to maintain relationships. If you're in let's say a relationship where your partner can't travel with you and you're going to go and travel the world, that is difficult. I've done that in the past, and it's, in my opinion, a recipe for disaster. So the real goal is, if you can then do this with your partner or you're single, then you are going to have a much better time. So look, for me, being a digital nomad is kind of my second nature at this point, but it's also a temporary strategy. Some people spend over 10 years traveling between different countries and working online. And you need to ask yourself that question. Like, do you see yourself doing that for 10 years? Or do you want to just do it for 1 year? For a lot of people, 6 months or a year is enough to kind of get it out of their system, see all the good stuff, deal with all the headaches, and then kind of settle from there. For me, I've done this for a very long time, but I'm not going to do this forever. And I know that. In fact, very soon I'll not be doing this. And that's also okay. And that's exciting because at least I've fully done it and I've fully explored it. And so I want you to know all of this because I'm not trying to just sell you the rosy picture that it's so cool and easy and you should do it. So how do you test if this lifestyle is actually going to work for you? Maybe you don't want to commit to an entire year of travel. Well, here's what I would do. I would book an Airbnb for 2 weeks to 1 month and I would go to work. All right, what I mean by that is pick a place anywhere. If you're in Ireland, you could go to Spain, you could go to Portugal, you could go to Italy. Pick somewhere nice, good climate, ticks a lot of the boxes for you. Don't go somewhere super exotic and just do it for a few weeks. Do it for 2 to 4 weeks and see, can you work? Because some people do this and they get nothing done. I mean, they go there, they eat out for every meal, they just want to party, they just want to go see all the sights, and they end up doing absolutely nothing, right? You need to test if you can do this. For me, I've always found this pretty easy. In fact, I'm quite productive. If you take me out of my situation, I'm away from friends, I'm away from family, I'm probably going to get more done than I would normally get done. So this can work really well, or this can be an absolute terrible idea. So you need to test it out first. If you're going to do this, I really, really recommend you need to do this with minimalism, aka not owning a lot of things. This is going to give you less stress. It's going to be easier and quicker to pack. You're going to save money on check-in bags because you can just bring a small little backpack or a suitcase with you. And you've got flexibility and you're mobile. The goal here is you don't want to own too many things. Not too many clothes, not too much equipment like big fancy cameras or vehicles. Like, if you own a car, then obviously you can't bring your car with you unless you're going to drive it, and do travel that way. Going minimal means you're not going to be tied to one location. Okay, not being tied to one location means you can travel easier and with less stress. My goal would be to pretty much fit all your belongings into one suitcase and one backpack. Now, where I'm at currently, okay, I have a lot more stuff that does not fit into one suitcase and one backpack. But that's because I own properties now where I can leave stuff and I can keep my belongings. But before I did, when I was just getting started with this, when I was just making a couple thousand per month, yeah, this is true. Like I could literally fit everything into one small suitcase that I could carry onto a plane and then one backpack. Okay, now there are certain items that you will probably pay extra to bring with you. For example, if you cannot work on a laptop, you're probably going to get a desktop screen. Right? I have friends that travel with desktop screens and they literally will buy one in a country when they go there, or they'll travel with it and bring it as like a check-in suitcase. Or a portable desk. I used to do this for a long time. I don't anymore. But for a long time, I would literally bring a portable desk with me. Now, these are not necessary, okay? As I wrote these slides some time ago, you'll see I said I sometimes pay extra to check in a portable standing desk. But, if I'm going to travel 4 countries in 2 months, I'm not going to do that, right? But if I was going to move to a place for a couple of months, then it probably makes a lot of sense. Okay, if you're going to do this, you're going to need a universal power plug with USB inputs, USB-C inputs, and like a mains connector. It's probably going to cost you $20 on Amazon. But this is like a must. You need a fast charging laptop and a phone charger. You can pay extra for these compared to your regular chargers. Do it. 100% do it. Get yourself a power bank because if you're on a super long flight, you want to be able to pull out your laptop and do some work offline. Write in your notes, plan things out because you're going to spend a lot of time traveling. And finally, a detachable laptop stand. So not a desk. One of these things, okay? One of these things that you can literally just take apart, you put your laptop on it, and it essentially acts as like a mini little stand for your laptop. It just means that if you're, working in this position, you can change it up. And trust me, I spent about $20 on that thing, I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago. Still have it, still works perfectly fine. And it's probably made me a lot of money based on it, makes me more productive. All right, you need noise cancelling headphones. This is for your travel. Trust me, being on an airplane with noise cancelling headphones is way fucking better. You basically hear nothing. Way better. It also means you can sleep, so you can sleep on flights better, and also for your deep work. If you pay for a quality pair of headphones, something like AirPods Max from Apple or Sony have a really great line of much cheaper ones, like 200-ish. That's what I'd recommend. I bought a pair of Sony for about $250, wore them for 2 years, and they were absolutely amazing. And I used them for pretty much all of my deep work sessions because small noises distract me quite a lot. So I needed to be, in pure silence or to have some music on, but again, have pure silence from the background. For me, sleep is one of the most important factors influencing my productivity and my workflow. So I bring noise cancelling headphones because, let's be real, like sometimes you're in a hotel, it's not fucking quiet. Some of my travels, I was in Asia, I was in a hostel once where it was people literally making babies on the bed on top, right? It was in a hostel with bunk beds. So you're not always going to be in the most productive environment. Of course, if you are in a position where you're making more money and you can actually afford Airbnbs and private rooms and all of this, fucking great, amazing, fantastic. But still, I've been in hotels that have been fancy hotels and I've had couples screaming in the room beside me. So bring a pair of noise cancelling headphones. It is going to make your sleep a lot better. And if you sleep better, you'll be more productive and you'll make more money and you can travel for longer. All right, how do you stay focused while traveling? This is really important. Now, you're probably wondering at this point in the video, okay, this all sounds great and I'm getting all these tactics, but obviously to be a digital nomad, I need to make money online. So how do I do that? Well, I'll get to that, okay? At this point, we're assuming you've done that because in fact, that's, in my opinion, that's kind of the easy thing is to figure out how to make money online. The harder bit is actually knowing the tacticals of how to travel while working online so that you can actually do it and it's not overwhelming. So how do you stay focused? You see, now me personally, I get a lot of my best work done on flights, for one simple reason. I have no Wi-Fi, I have no internet. It's just me, my laptop or my notepad and thoughts and ideas. So the way I do this is I use Google Docs and like all the Google products for my work. So with a Google document or let's say a slideshow presentation like this one right here, you can click File, Save Offline, and then you can work while you're offline. Right? This is one of the best things ever because you can essentially, if you go to prep slides, you just download it, fill it all out, and then it will re-upload once you're back online later on. Same thing if you've got a doc, right? If you're running a marketing agency, you can be building out ideas for your clients. You can be building out copy and captions and content plans for your clients. So many of these things. And of course, there's parts you'll need Wi-Fi for, but you'll still be able to get some good shit done. Now you have to make work your non-negotiable. Okay, I'm going to give you a real life example. When I wrote these slides, I was on a flight from Spain to Portugal. I woke up 2 hours early to work before my flight. Then I got to the airport early to avoid queues. And then I worked while waiting for my flight to start boarding for about an hour. And then at this point, I was getting more work done on the flight. Okay, so essentially, what could have been a complete write-off with that travel day worked really well for me. I got a lot of work done. Now, a keynote to make this work is, pay extra for a taxi, book it multiple days in advance. And this is just going to save you time and stress. You never get your time back. You will get your money back. And if you're going to do, what I did, which is build an online business, there's some really good ways where you can pay money, you can get discounts, you can expense certain things through your company if it's work related, and you can also just learn how to make more money with your time, which means that little things like taxis and booking a bit of a nicer Airbnb closer to the airport is no longer an issue. It's not even a thought or a worry or a concern. So that's obviously the goal we want to get you to, is to have that kind of level of financial abundance. When you go to a new place, you probably want to explore, you want to take in the sights, you want to let loose a little bit. And I am here to tell you can do that all. You just have to make work a priority. What I recommend is split your work into 2 blocks, your deep work and your maintenance work. You've got work that's deep work, which is building systems, planning, orchestrating what you need to do. And then you got your maintenance work, which is just action, doing the things you need to do, admin, emails, replying to people, stuff that's not something you need to be dialed in and focused for, but stuff that also needs to be done as well. Pick your work and travel days. If you want to have, a day where you just sightsee and you get on a flight for 10 hours to Asia, then, obviously don't book in a load of calls during that day, right? Like, be smart about how you do this and just know that when you land, you're going to have to then get into work mode from there. Okay, now if you're in the personal brand space, then, your digital nomad lifestyle can help you grow your business exponentially, right? Through the content you capture on your travels and then also your flexibility to do business in different countries. Like, these can be absolute game changers. As I alluded to earlier as well, if let's say you run a personal brand and you traveling is part of your brand, it's part of your marketing, it's part of the fundamentals of your business. Like if that is actually the case for you, then of course speak to your accountant, right? But there's ways at which you can expense a lot of your travel through your company because of this reason that it's linked to your work. All right, so the big question is, how do you make money so that you can actually do this and be a digital nomad? Well, there's a few ways. Of course, you can go and get an online job. This is one of the most common ways of becoming a digital nomad. In fact, if you go to somewhere like Bali and you go to a digital nomad co-working space, probably most people there will be remote workers. They have a job and it's a full-time job and they just work remotely, simple as. So you'll find most people actually do it that way. I didn't do it that way. The way I did it was starting my own business, particularly a marketing agency, for a few reasons, because I wanted to make more money and have uncapped potential, but I also didn't want to have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week for somebody else, right? If you're going to be a digital nomad and you want to travel and have that flexibility, and I mean true flexibility of, if on a Tuesday you decide, fuck it, I want to leave Bali and I want to go to Bangkok in Thailand for 2 weeks, that's the freedom you want. And you won't get that if you have a job, right? Because of course there's deadlines, there's schedules, there's things that you have to get done, and you've got to normally do it within certain hours and in certain timeframes. So I am biased, but I recommend that you do start your own business. If you want to start a marketing business like I did, for me, there was no cons of this because I had full control of my schedule. I could book calls on the days that I wanted to book calls, and I could book days off whenever I wanted to book days off. I could scale up and scale down. If we were going to be, let's say I was locked in a country for 2 months and I wanted to just scale up my business, I could do that. I could just lock myself in, do that. And then if I wanted to plan 4 weeks of more travel, I can then do that and I can ramp things down. I can build systems, I can use AI, and I can hire people to do a lot of the more manual work that I would have been doing myself. So you've got a lot of control to be able to scale things up, scale things down, and really suit your lifestyle. Now, I've got a lot of content on this channel specifically about how to do that, how to start a marketing agency. You'll also see in the description of this video, there's some information on how you can work one-on-one with me. So not just me giving you a course, but me actually mentoring you and coaching you through the process and through really a proven plan, because at this point, I've helped it's over 140 people make minimum about 5,000 per month. And on the upper end, some people up to about 40 to 45K per month. So we know how to do this. I've done it myself. I've done it for a very long time. I've helped a lot of people do this as well. So if you want more info on that, you can just click the links in the description. You'll get all the information on that. So those are your two main routes. You get a job or you start an online business. I'm biased, but the way I did it worked really well for me. And a lot of people I work with, they travel, they have the flexibility, they make money, and they can actually fully enjoy their travel as a nomad. So I hope this is valuable. If you want me to do a follow-up video on this, just let me know, and hope to see you in the next one.